This is a heck of a side yard ceiling I got it. I tell you what, we love it down here. I wish everybody could move downtown. On behalf of the Dublin City Council, which we've got several members here, if you will, raise your hands, and then our city manager, George Russell, I'd like to welcome you to the Bicentennial Plaza. And I know there's way too many people to try to thank, for me to try to thank, that's here and not here. And I'm going to let Joshua try to attempt to do that. But there's one group I want to thank and one person I want to thank. This was a quote from Russell Thomas, who was the mayor of Americus when the Rylander Theater was redone. He said, "For the longest time we all waited for a white knight to ride into town and fix the problem. But the Main Street people made us realize that the only way to get it done right was to do it ourselves." I want to tell you that the Downtown Development Authority and the group that's there, and I see y'all here, without your leadership and without your encouragement for the city, the county, the private citizens, this wouldn't be here. And I think we all owe them a great round of applause. The individual I want to thank, and I don't know if he's here or not, is Joshua Nichols. Joshua took a infrastructure that was begun in the late 90s and early 2000s and recognized it as a benefit and a good thing. And he came into town and he started doing development. And he did some fine restaurants and he did some buildings that we're all enjoying today. And I think if it had not been for him, I'm pretty sure, I don't know that you would see, you might see this plaza here, but I don't know that you'd see all the businesses that are downtown and all the renovation that's happened since then. So I think we ought to give him a round of applause. Other than that, I know not to stand in the way of Dino's. Joshua, I guess you next, or Tara.
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to see everybody here today for this grand opening of the plaza. I promise in a few years these trees will be able to cast a little more shade. This is just the beginning of a great project for downtown Dublin. There are many people to thank. This project was a result of dreaming, planning, and working. And for the dreaming stage of it, I think Juan Yaris is here today. Juan, I want to thank you for the concept drawings that you did. You didn't charge the Downtown Development Authority or the City of Dublin anything for your work. It was a donation from you and Dublin Construction Company, and your concept has now come to life. And I appreciate your donation to this project. There were many others who were part of that as well. For the planning stage, we had donations from many private groups, including a significant donation from Morris Bank, from Choice Care Ambulance Service, from Bank of Dudley, and many other institutions that have allowed this project to really be all that it could be. On the working stage, there's one person who really deserves singling out, and that's Tara Bradshaw. Tara is our Main Street Director. She's shaking her head. She doesn't want any praise. That's just the way she is. But we are so fortunate that we have her as Director of our Main Street programs because she sees it not just as a job, but a vocation. She really loves what she does, and that shows in all the projects that we have downtown, from the Farmers Market to Theater Dublin to this Bicentennial Plaza project. So, Tara, thank you for working day in and day out to see the implementation of this project. There are many, many others, including the City Council and the entire board of the Downtown Development Authority, that deserve much praise. But rather than talk about each person who's donated to it, I want to talk about, for just a moment, what it means to the community. This is an expensive project. Over $800,000 was invested in the underground infrastructure and the plaza and promenade that you see here. Is it worth it? I think it absolutely is. From an economic viewpoint, we had over 10,000 people come here for one day at the Arts and Crafts Festival, generating over $250,000 of economic activity in one day. And we hope that will continue month in and month out for years to come. In addition, we've had, in the last 2 months since the Bicentennial Plaza has opened, over $200,000 in real estate investments and improvements in the areas surrounding the plaza. We expect that that will continue through the next year or two as people see the benefit of being in the vicinity of this plaza area. In addition, this is a 50 to 100-year project. If you think about that $800,000 spread over 50 years, it's just a small sum of money to enjoy the benefits of this. You know, at some point you start thinking beyond just what you can accomplish in your life and instead look to what you can pass on to your children, seeing yourself as stewards of the community for the generations to come. And that's why we wanted to build this project to last 100 years so that it could be enjoyed long after we're all gone. The dividends that this investment will pay, I believe, are going to be in the intangibles of the community. If you believe that a community's issues arise from spiritual crises, then the solutions have to be spiritual in nature. I think that's why it's always important that we begin these downtown project ceremonies with a prayer so that we can understand the place of these projects in the greater scheme of things. I believe that a small part of what we are doing downtown is investing in the spiritual capital of our community through theaters, plazas, libraries, the farmers market, art galleries, theaters, and yes, even fountains. Thank you for coming today. I hope that you enjoyed this plaza, not just for the moment that we are gathered here, but for years to come.